playing football for us. He's backing up those guys. He's taking a lot of reps in the games, special teams, defense. So he's become a really good football player. Secondly, he provides a lot of leadership, a lot of accountability. Like you said, he's got a lot of life experience that most of these guys do not. He understands what hard really is, and what we're doing ain't really hard. He's been through some really hard stuff. So just the leadership, the accountability, and then just keeping the guys going when things quote unquote get hard. He can bring those guys back up. So he's done a lot for the room. He's done a lot for the team.
Michigan's run game. Sorry, go ahead. Michigan's run game. What have you seen from those guys just running the football?
Yeah, obviously I think they're number one rushing team in the Big Ten. They're physical. They're big up front. They do a lot of multiple motions, a lot of multiple formations, and they're really good at the runs they have, and they're going to disguise those runs each and every week with a different shift, a different motion, a different formation. So you can't really get a beat on, they're lining up in this set, here comes power. They're lining up in this set, here comes counter, because they run all their runs out of the same formations, and it's different week to week. I think their running backs do a really good job. They can put their foot in the ground and hit a hole, and if they hit a hole, it could turn into a home run. Their receivers are physical in the run game. They use their tight ends in the run game, and the quarterback can pull it, so you're really playing 11-on-11 football, and they do a really good job running the ball.
The two running backs that they use, are they different runners, or what do you see with that?
Yeah, I think they're both really good fits for their offense. I see, a little bit more power out of one, a little bit more speed out of the other, but I think they do a really good job. They know where to hit the ball, and, you got to bring hats to the rock. You're not going to take these guys down with arm tackles or putting your head on them. You got to get a lot of guys to the ball and wrap and drive.
Strictly from a physicality standpoint, where does this rank amongst offenses you guys have faced this year?
Yeah, I think right now this will be the most physical group we've seen so far. We've played some physical games. Obviously, in the Big Ten, it's physical every week. Michigan State came in, was a physical bunch. Obviously, the way they were running the football. But I think so far, as you watch the tape unfold, this will be the most physical group we played. And especially, when you talk about offensive lines in the Big Ten are all physical. When you add this group of tight ends and this group of receivers in, the way that they're blocking in the run game too, I think this is the most physical group we've seen.
Is that a challenge you're kind of embracing these guys? I'm sure this is kind of the matchup they want in the game in the trenches.
Yeah, you always embrace it, right? I told the guys the other day, we have a saying on game day that, we don't feel pressure because we know what we're doing. But you don't know what you're doing until you've prepared on Saturday. And I told those guys there's pressure this game. It's a ranked team coming in. It's a big-time game on ABC. Pressure's a privilege. Pressure means people are watching. Pressure means we got a job to do. So there's some pressure put on, but that pressure is going to be relieved on Friday and on Saturday when we know what we're doing. Then we just go play football.
Coaches are always about downplaying the pressure. Why do you choose to acknowledge it?
I don't know. I guess I'm not smart enough to do all that other stuff. But I think, when you have a veteran group, you lay it all on the line. It's always on the line. Stretch, individual, 7-on-7, team periods. When we walk out in those white lines on Saturday, it's always on the line. And so you got to let them know it's on the line, and you got to know what the stakes are Monday when we walk into this deal.
JoJo obviously got Covington, defensive player of the week. Is he playing at the level that, from an outside perspective, the stats suggest that he is?
Yeah, stats, I guess I don't read the stat line. When it comes up on the tweets or whatever, I guess it's on there. But I think JoJo's done a really good job of embracing his role and allowing the plays to come to him that are supposed to come to him. And guys are doing that all across the board, the inside backers, the DBs, the defensive line. When the play's theirs, they make the play. And JoJo's done a really good job of executing his job and his assignment. His eyes have been correct, and he's playing at a high level, and he's doing things the right way. And I think that he understands now, as opposed to maybe a couple of years in the past, that when he does his job and he does things the right way, those plays are going to come to him, and he's going to have a lot of success.
Was that something that, he's always been a playmaker, but as far as just letting plays come to him and not trying to do too much, is he kind of taking that to a different level this year?
Yeah, I think sometimes less is more, when you're playing really good team defense. And I think doing your job is simple, but it's not easy. And I think that he's embraced that challenge, just like the team wide. They've embraced that doing your job every single play and having your eyes right every single play. It's a simple task, but simple is not easy sometimes. And those guys have done a really good job with that.
A guy like Corum, who's a little bit on the shorter side, low center of gravity. What's different about trying to wrap up one of those guys compared to a bigger guy?
I think we see all different size backs on our team in practice, but obviously you got to get your pads down. You can't miss high. You miss high on that guy. That's what we're talking about. He can put his foot in the ground. He can hit a home run if he slips one. So you got to get your pads down low, especially in the box. And then we got to leverage the ball on the outside. He's really hard to bring down when you're trying to go one-on-one on the perimeter. So we've got to have great leverage. We've got to attack our leverage. We've got to own our leverage, and we've got to team tackle this whole game.
But in terms of a bunch of big guys in front of him blocking, the challenge related to trying to locate where he's going back there?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, to me, it's about being in your gap, right? Getting in your gap, using your hands, and then using your eyes to find the second key, which is the guy that has the football. So when you're in your gap and now you've locked out in your gap and you've executed your technique and now you can see where the ball's at, I think you have a pretty fair shot, even if a shorter guy, taller guy, doesn't really matter. Just got to do your job.
I think Michigan's only turned the ball over like one time this year. I guess how big of a challenge is that to create those game-changing plays against a team that doesn't make a lot of mistakes?
Yeah, they're really good at taking care of the football. Their runners have not turned it over much. Quarterback doesn't throw interceptions, doesn't take sacks. And there's not a ton of drop back pass out there because of how well they've run the football. So it's a challenge to our guys to earn the right to rush the passer, and then when they earn the right to rush the passer, go see if we can get home a little bit.
What have you seen from McNamara, the quarterback there? They run the ball a lot, but is that because maybe they want to see more from their quarterback, or is it just because they're running it so healthy?
Yeah, I think probably a combination of both. They've run the football and they've put themselves in a lot of third and shorts. So they feel like they can get it running the football. McNamara does a really good job of managing the football game. He executes the offense well. He's going to throw the ball where he needs to throw the ball. He's not going to make mistakes. And then he's a willing runner when he needs to be. When things break down, he can take off and go out of the pocket. He can pull the ball and run and make you play 11-on-11 football in the run game. So I think that I respect what he does in the football game. Yeah, I think, when J.J. McCarthy comes in, obviously he could throw the ball. I mean, he was a big-time recruit, 5-star guy. He's got a big arm. But I think that he's probably a little better runner than McNamara. Even though McNamara does a good job, I think J.J. McCarthy can really pull the ball and do some things and add an extra element to the run game. And so I think that they'll probably continue to get some packages for him as the season progresses.
With McNamara, obviously the difference between throwing the ball when you want to throw it and when you need to. How can you guys make him uncomfortable by stopping the run game?
Yeah, like I said, you got to earn the right to rush the passer, and that starts on first and second down. And then, I don't know if these guys have been behind all year. I haven't watched every game simultaneously. I don't know if they've been behind in a football game. So we've got to find a way to, get that game at 0-0, or we got to find a way to get ahead in this football game and then turn this thing into making them throw the ball a little bit and see what happens.
How can that, a team that's not used to being behind, you guys get them to play behind, how does that sort of, kind of advantage is that for you guys to put them in an uncomfortable situation like that?
Yeah, I'm sure, Coach Harbaugh's been doing this a long time. I think that he probably put them in a lot of situations where they're getting comfortable being uncomfortable. But obviously it hasn't shown up on tape, so you don't know how anyone's going to react, and you don't know what they're going to do once those circumstances come. But I think that, we have to find a way to get them in those circumstances and then execute when we do.
You have a night game environment like you did last week that you probably have this week. What's that do for defense especially?
Yeah, I think our guys were fired up last week. I think they're going to be even more juiced up last week. Crowd was awesome. The light show was pretty awesome. We talked about it the other day. You got a 6:30 kick in Memorial Stadium on national television against a ranked team. If you ain't up for this one, you don't belong in our room. So it's I think those guys are going to be jacked. They're going to be ready to roll, and it's going to be an awesome, awesome environment.
I'm assuming you watched the Wisconsin film. What are some things that stuck out to you about Michigan's offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin traditionally, as they are once again, is a really good defense. They're a really physical bunch, and that's how you know how physical Michigan is. They stacked up against Wisconsin, came at them. They're, like we said, their receivers, their tight ends weren't afraid to go in there and block those big guys from Wisconsin. So that was just a classic Big Ten matchup, a very physical game, and it showed a lot about the run game, showed a lot about the schemes they're going to try to do when, they're playing against a really formidable opponent as well. So that was a very good game to watch, as was Rutgers. Rutgers did a very good job in that game. Those were two games that were really good to watch.